Hello students, this is Mr. McAllen, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to solve quadratic equations by completing the square. Typically we have a quadratic function or equation that we're trying to solve, and it looks like ax squared plus bx plus c, but in this case the constant term is on the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out a value to add to the first two terms to make it a perfect square trinomial. So I'm going to add a value to that function, and on this side I have 25, and whenever I add to the right side I have to do the same thing to the left side, so I'm going to put plus a blank. So now the way you find the perfect square trinomial value is that you're going to add is you look at the middle term, you divide it by 2 and you square it. That's the algorithm for finding this value. So we're going to have x squared plus 6x plus, and in blue I'll put what the value is. Remember, it's the number divided by 2 and then squared. And whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. So I'm going to add to it 6 over 2 squared. Now this becomes x squared plus 6x plus 9, which is now real easy to find the factors. And this is going to be 25 plus 9. So this is on this side, this is going to equal 34. On this side, it's going to become x plus 3 quantity squared. Now we're going to use, in the video that was before this video, we talked about extracting roots. So if you're not familiar with extracting roots, that's what we're going to do now to find the answer to this. So to extract these roots, we square root both sides. So I have x plus 3 equals the plus or minus, because there's always, when you take a square root of a number for solving a quadratic, you always have a positive and a negative root. So this is plus or minus root 34. And now what we do is we just subtract the 3 from both sides. So you have x equals negative 3 plus or minus root 34. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to calculate what these roots actually are in terms of an approximate decimal number and verify it with Desmos. So I found the roots. I had 2.830 and 8.830, but negative. So now I'm going to take this equation and plot it on Desmos. So I'm going to plot it as x squared plus 6x minus 25. I'm just going to move the 25 to the to the left by subtraction, and I'm going to look for where it equals 0. So what I've already done is I've put it on the Desmos screen up here, and I'll highlight the function. And you can see that I have one root, negative 8.831, and the other root of 2.831. So you can see that the completing the square method worked to find my zeros in a much more algebraic sense. The last question that if you understand completing the square, you can stop the video now, but we have another type of form that we're going to use completing the square on. This is going to be a little bit more difficult, but you can see here we have a whole mess of algebraic terms. We want to combine like terms, FOIL, and complete the square. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to FOIL this out, combine like terms, and then get it set up just like we had before when we started working on the other problem before we complete the square. So I'll pause the video, or you should pause the video and do that, and then we'll compare answers. Okay, well, hopefully you got your equation to be in this state, and now we want to complete the squares. So I'm going to rewrite it as the way we had before. We have 8x squared minus 8x, and over here I'm going to put negative 12. So now I've got to add a value to this side, and I'm going to add a value to this side. That's my perfect square number. So in blue, I'll put that. So it's going to be negative 8 over 2 squared. And over here, I'm going to add negative 8 over 2 and square that. So in this case, I'm really just doing x squared minus 8x, and then this is going to be plus 16. Remember, it doesn't matter that's negative because we're going to square that, and that's going to become positive. On this side, I have negative 12 plus 16. I have a perfect square trinomial. x minus 4 quantity squared equals 4. And now I extract roots, just like we did in the earlier video. So that's going to be x minus 4 equals plus or minus 2, because the square root of 4 is 2. And now we get a really nice answer. Doesn't happen all the time, but we have x equals 4 plus or minus 2. So I can write that up and not use a calculator. And that's going to be 6 for one root, and my other root is going to be 2. So when I plot this on Desmos, I should see my original equation. If I want to plot this all into Desmos, I should see that the two solutions will be 6 and 2. You can try that on Desmos on your own, and I hope this video helps you understand how to complete the square. Have a good day.